everybody, my name is Kaylie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay everybody, happy whatever day it is. I know that I already have my makeup done. I couldn't film the intro to this video for some reason, but I am here. I love you guys. I know that there are a ton of new people who are here. Welcome. I'm so excited that you guys found my channel. If you're new here, let me know down below in the comments. And to all of my OGs, welcome back. Let's get into today's story time. I'm gonna bring you guys up close. There we go. Okay, so for those of you who may be new here, I'm going to do my quick usual little rundown. For most of the video, I'll be looking this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that, then you can leave.
There's the door. There's the door, bitch!
And these story times are sent in by anonymous people. Okay, y'all, so I got another Christmas headband. You guys definitely aren't gonna be able to see it. What the fuck? Guys, this is terrible. I didn't think this whole thing through, but that's okay. I'm gonna show it now. See, super cute. And now we're gonna put it on my head and now it's gone. Okay, story time about how my best friend tried to talk me into sleeping with her boyfriend. Yeah. Okay, so a little background information. I was a freshman in high school whenever I met my best friend, Lana. Oh, guys, this foundation. We're just gonna have to try and make this work. Okay, anyways, back to the story. So I was brand new to this school, but it didn't take me long to figure out that Lana was somebody that almost all the girls looked up to in a way, and it wasn't because of any other reason than her being in a successful relationship with a guy named Micah, which was another reason why all the girls kind of looked up to Lana / wanted to be her, because Micah was super mature for his age. Like, this girl had been in a successful relationship since she was in 5th grade. That was never heard of. Especially with the fact that growing up in this generation, him not being a part of that whole hookup culture, sassy man bullshit, everybody was amazed to say the least. So anyways, like I said, her and I, we became friends our freshman year of high school. She was sitting alone at lunch and I was super confused considering that everybody said that they were pretty much jealous of her, etc. So I'm like, hey, do you want to sit with me? And she asked me why. Shorty, that should have been the first red flag. Just trying to be nice. What the fuck? Anyways, and I'm like, because I don't want to sit alone and it looks like you don't want to be sitting alone either. So then we both sit down together. And at first things were a little bit awkward. Like, neither of us wanted to start a conversation with the other one. But then we start asking each other questions and the conversation just kept flowing. I asked her why she was sitting alone, if she didn't have any friends in this lunch period. And she had told me that she used to have friends, but a lot of the girls that she was friends with in middle school tried to get with her man or just start rumors and shit. Damn, like, y'all are doing all this shit in middle school. You know what, I'm not even gonna say shit right now because my makeup, I look like a fucking clown. I do not feel comfortable judging anyone right now. I'm not judging. Anyways, so pretty much, yeah, she was telling me that all these girls were spreading rumors and just being bitches. And naturally, I start to think, well, maybe the guy is the problem, because why are these girls feeling comfortable enough to start these rumors, etc. But she quickly destroyed that thought because she was like, and Micah would never give these girls a second look, so I don't even know why these bitches tried getting with him. So yeah, anyways, that's how her and I became best friends. I became her person and she became mine. Now, because of what Lana had told me when I first met her, I tried my best to avoid Micah. Not because I liked him or anything, or I was afraid I was gonna catch feelings for him, but out of respect for Lana, because I knew the trust issues that she most likely had because of those shitty ass friend. Like, I didn't even want there to be a thought that I liked her man or that I wanted him in any way, shape, or form. Anyways, then fast forward to our junior year of high school. This is where things started to get, I don't even know how to say it, shitty maybe. because Lana came up with a good excuse to tell her mom that her and I wanted to go and check out the college that her sister went to, because it was around that time where you started looking at colleges anyways, and Lana's mom would have never let her go if that wasn't the excuse, because she did not want Lana partying at college with her older sister. That was a no-no. Anyway, so we go and we party, hang out with her sister, and we had such a good time. But I would say like a few days after we got home, I started realizing that Lana was acting a little bit strange, especially whenever it came to Micah. Like, for one, she stopped talking about him as much as she used to, which was the main reason that made me think that something was definitely off, because she always talked about Micah. Like, sometimes to the point where I would tell her to shut up, because that shit got annoying. Not only that, but she was spending way less time with him. So much to the point where I asked her what was going on. You know, the one day her and I are hanging out and I'm like, hey, is everything okay between you and Micah? And she kind of snapped at me. She was like, yeah, why? And I'm like, no reason, you just haven't been spending that much time with him. And then I think she realized that she snapped at me, and she kind of was like, oh, well, you know, I just really miss you, and you know, he's been busy with work, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I low-key knew that wasn't the truth. Well, then fast forward to January of 2024. Things had gotten even worse for Micah. Not for anybody else, honestly. But then by January of 2024, she started acting even more weird, because Lana had just gotten a job at the mall, which surprised me because Micah literally spoiled her. He bought her everything that she wanted. And I did ask her why. I was like, why are you getting a job? And she was like, well, I don't want to have to depend on Micah for everything. Like, I want a little bit of independence, which I understand. Not really. Because that makes sense if you're breaking up with him, so that way you have money and stuff like that whenever you break up. I don't know. I was questioning it. Well, then probably like 2 weeks after she started working at the mall, she started telling me about this guy at her work who would constantly flirt with her, like 24/7. She always rolled her eyes and talked about it in a super disgusted voice, but she would almost have like a smile underneath while she would talk about it. Or you know how you can just tell whenever a girl's like, oh my goodness, he's so annoying, like why does he do that? That was what that was. So I'm sitting there and I'm a little bit like, okay, just taking little mental notes. And I know you guys are probably like, oh, well, why are you so worried about what she's doing? She's my best friend. I'm confused on why she's just not being honest with me. That's the confusion. That's why I'm so fucking up her ass with this whole thing. Well, then fast forward to March of 2024. This is where things get juicy. So finally, after her complaining about it like 10 more times, I'm like, girl, why don't you just tell Micah? And then she almost like freaks out. She's like, no, I can't do that, and neither can you, because I don't want things to get awkward at work. That's the last thing that I need, blah, blah, blah. So then I finally just come out and ask her if she likes him, even though I was kind of expecting her to lie because she had been lying to me for the past little while now. So I'm like, do you like that guy? By the way, we're gonna call this guy at her work RJ. I'm like, do you like RJ? And then she says, okay, well, if I'm being honest, I really like him. And we haven't done anything with each other, but if he tried to make a move on me, I don't think that I would stop him. I'm not gonna lie, I was baffled. Not about the fact that she likes somebody other than Micah. I know that's probably what you guys didn't know, just that she told the truth. I was like, damn, for her to tell the truth, she must actually like this dude. So then I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? And the reason why I'm not surprised that she liked this guy was because she had been super distant with Micah for months and using me as an excuse to be distant from him. Anyway, so when I asked her what she's gonna do, she's like, I don't know. I've been asking myself the same thing the past few months because Micah is the best guy that I've ever been with, blah, blah, blah. He's never done anything wrong to me. Like, I just can't leave him. And then she says some shit that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. She was like, I just wish that he would like cheat on me or something.
Oh, hell no.
And I'm like, girl, what the fuck? Like, sis, just tell him you don't want to be together. You ain't gotta go that far. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'd rather end it with somebody than have them cheat on me. I mean, I guess if like you have low-key a victim mentality, maybe you might think like that.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Like, oh, poor me, they cheated on me, I'm the victim, wham, 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 wham. Which I don't know why you would even want that to happen, because if you're cheated on, most likely you tell somebody that, or this could just be my trust issues talking right now. You tell somebody that you were cheated on in the last relationship, they sit there and they're like, oh shit, well, I can probably cheat on her too. You know, and the only reason why I say that is because I feel like any time that anybody tells anybody about their past trauma, maybe even unintentionally, that person just happens to fuck that person over again in the same way. That was a whole lot of trust issues right there. Anyways, y'all. So, yeah, she goes, I just wish that he would cheat on me or something, because then I would have a reason to leave him and I wouldn't feel bad about it. Y'all, I literally just realized that my mic hasn't been plugged in this whole time. Well, it hasn't been recording this whole time. So if you guys see this video and there's a lot of background noise, I apologize so much because I'm not refilming this.
Like, no one cares.
Now, here's the thing. The problem is with this whole thing that she was saying is Micah would never cheat on her. It just wasn't in his character. I would say there was one time where Lana and I thought that Micah was cheating on her or was going to cheat on her, and that was in our sophomore year of high school. He had a foreign exchange student staying with him and his family, and Lana and I could both tell that he low-key had a little bit of feelings for this girl, but then we kind of figured it was because he was spending a lot of time with this girl, and yeah. But other than that, Micah didn't even have girlfriends. Well, fast forward probably like a week after that conversation, Lana and I are hanging out the one night, and she just randomly asks me to play truth or dare, and I agree to play. I mean, obviously I'm a little bit like, girl, what the fuck, because that is such a childish game to play. Not only that, but it was only me and her. So I was like, girl, I'm not playing truth or dare. And she was like, no, come on, please. Finally, I said yes. I honestly just thought that she was going to ask me truth or dare, and then I say truth, and then her badgered me about who I like, because she was always coming up with creative ways to find out if I liked somebody, and she was always trying to get me a boyfriend too, so that way we could go on double dates, which obviously that never worked. Anyway, so I finally say, okay, fine, you know, play truth or dare, blah, blah, blah. So, and she's like, truth or dare? And I'm like, truth. And then she says to me, if you had a crush on my boyfriend, would you tell me? And I was low-key taken back by that question. I'm like, and I asked her, I'm like, what kind of fucking question is that? And she's like, just answer it. And I'm like, yeah, I would tell you. And FYI, I don't have a fucking crush on your boyfriend. I don't like your boyfriend. So I'm like, why would you ask me something like that? And then she goes, I don't know, I just feel like you've been acting weird lately. You know, like asking me if I like that guy RJ at my work and stuff. And I'm sitting there like, bitch, I did. And you admitted it. Like, what? And so I'm like, bro, I literally asked that because I was curious. Not only that, but the only time that I'm around Micah is whenever you're around. But then Lana cut me off and she's like, truth or dare? And I'm like, dare. And she goes, I dare you to sleep with Micah.
Holy shit! Oh my God!
Y'all, this is where I just I really was like, what the fuck? And I asked her, I'm like, what? And she's like, well, you don't have to like sleep with him. Just get him to kiss you or something.
Bruh.
This is when I stand up, I grab my shit and I leave. And before I walk out, she's like, no, where are you going? Stay, please, da 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 da. We need to talk about things. And I'm like, Lana, I don't know what the fuck is up with you tonight, but I'm not doing this. Talk to me when you're done being weird. So I left her house, obviously pissed off, and she was blowing up my phone the whole way home. Like, I literally had to pull over on the side of the road, sit there, download some songs, put my phone on fucking airplane mode so I could listen to them, because she kept interrupting my music. Anyway, so I finally pick up the phone whenever I get home, put my phone back on, you know. And then she's like, listen, I'm sorry. I really just don't want to be with Micah anymore and I need a way out. Can you please help me with this? And I'm like, help you how, bro? Like, do you want me to fucking unalive him? I don't know what other way. And she was like, will you please just help me? I need him. You don't even have to sleep with him. Just, I need you to get him to come on to you or something. And then she goes, you know that I would do this 10 times over for you.
You lying? Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, how am I gonna do this? And she goes, OMG, you're gonna do it? And I'm like, how are we gonna do this? Answer the fucking question, bitch. And then she goes and she's like, well, I just need you guys to spend a lot of time together. The only reason why he caught feelings for that one girl was because they were spending time together every day without me there. And once you guys hang out more, you guys will become friends, you'll get closer, and then he'll probably start to see you in more of a romantic type of way. So I'm like, all right, B, hang up the fucking phone, go into my house and go the fuck to bed. So fast forward to the next day at school, she acts like she did not just come up with a plan to destroy her own relationship. No, she acted completely normal. Even after school on FaceTime and stuff, she still didn't say anything about that whole thing. No, instead, at like 1:30 in the morning, while I was sleeping, she texted me and she goes, hey, forgot to tell you, you and Micah have plans this weekend to go to Disneyland together. And I know that she texted me on purpose when I was sleeping because she knows that I would have been like, bitch, I'm not going. And then she texted me again after that and she's like, oh, by the way, you can't cancel because I already told him. So then I wake up in the morning and I meet her at school and I ask her, I'm like, how are you even going to, like, why? Here's the thing, Micah and I have never hung out one-on-one. We've barely even hung out together in general. Maybe during freshman year, all three of us would hang out sometimes, but that shit faded out pretty quickly. So I asked her, I'm like, how are you even getting Micah to agree to this? Because Micah hates other girls. And she was like, oh, well, I told him that since both of you guys are in my life, he needs to also become your best friend and blah blah blah, this and that. And of course, because he would literally run to the ends of the earth for this girl, he said yeah, that he would become best friends with me. So fast forward to Saturday, Micah picks me up bright and early because we had a 2.5 hour drive to Disneyland. You know, I get in the car, he's like, ready for the happiest place on earth? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I forgot how good Micah and I got along together. Because back whenever all three of us would hang out, Micah and I, he's a very easy person to talk to. The car ride there was low-key weird, and it wasn't because of anything that Micah was doing. If anything, it was because of Lana. Lana is over here texting me, like blowing up my fucking phone. Texting me the whole terms and conditions, like she's telling me everything about him. She's like, play this song, he loves this song. If you guys get hungry, go to this taco place. Say you love this taco place. Say you like this, da 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 da, this, that, and the next, blah, 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 blah. And like, it even got to the point where Micah was like, damn, you're popular. And I'm like, huh, yup. And I fucking turned off my phone. Well, I didn't turn it off because I didn't want her to get super sus, but I silenced my phone. So fast forward, we get there and it's lunchtime. We go to one of his favorite spots to eat there. And while we're sitting there, out of nowhere, he goes, you know, you and I have never really hung out one-on-one before. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. We really never have. And then he's like, yeah, I'm happy that Lana set this up. And I'm like, oh? So I'm like, bitch, do not tell me this is about to be easier than I thought. Because now I have to question everything that I originally thought about this man. And then he was like, yeah, she always says that you're one of her favorite people. And I'm like, yeah, she's one of mine, blah, blah, blah. And then a few moments of silence go by. It was low-key kind of awkward. He says, can I ask you something? And I'm like, yeah. Like, what the fuck? And then he goes, is everything with Lana okay lately? Like, with me and Lana? And I'm like, yeah, everything between you guys is fine. And I was like, honestly, I wouldn't worry. If she seems a little bit off, I think she's just super stressed out with work. And then he goes, oh yeah, like, you're probably right. And he gets up to throw his food away, but I could definitely tell that I was not convincing enough because that man had, bitch, I know you're lying, written across his fucking forehead. Well, then the car ride home just made me feel awful about this whole situation because he's like, you know, you're super easy to talk to. And I'm like, thanks, you too. And then he says, you know, sometimes I just feel like I'm not good enough. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like for Lana, you know, she's just such an amazing girl. And I feel like I just can never do enough for her. And she doesn't make me feel like that. It's just, personally, I think she can do better than me. And I'm like, Micah, you're a great guy. Trust me, you are doing everything perfect. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. Y'all, I felt so guilty. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like kicking myself in the ass because I'm like, bro, he's such a nice guy. Like, I shouldn't be doing this to him. Fast forward, he drops me off at home and then Lana's blowing up my phone and I finally answer. She's like, hey, how did it go? Micah said that it went great. And I'm like, yeah, it did, Lana, but what the hell is wrong with you? She's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, what do you mean, what do I mean? Like, you're trying to get him to cheat on you with your best friend. I'm just confused on how this makes any sense. Like, he's a good fucking guy. I was like, why can't you just tell him that you lost feelings and move the fuck on? You don't have to put him through this whole mental, emotional torture shit. And she's like, listen, all he needs to do is kiss you and that's it. Please fucking do this. You already started getting him to like you. What's the point of stopping now? Fast forward to Monday. I didn't talk to her all day on Sunday because I just was really upset about the whole situation. So in the morning, she comes up to me. She's like, bitch, I've been trying to call you. Like, why haven't you been answering the phone? And I'm like, bro, I'm tired. And she's like, okay, well, this weekend, you and Micah are hanging out again. And she was like, listen, he's supposed to come over my house on Friday, but I have a project to do, blah, 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 this and that. It works out perfect. So fast forward throughout the week, she even starts getting Micah and I to text each other, which I thought was super sus because she always wanted me to initiate the conversation. Anyways, fast forward to Friday. Micah picks me up, we're in the car, we're driving, we go get burgers, we drive around for a few hours, just talking about a ton of shit. And he was really being open and honest with me. He was telling me about how his parents got divorced and how that really affected him and how that's why he tries to be the best boyfriend possible. And then he goes, you've never had a boyfriend, right? And I'm like, nope. And he's like, well, why? And that's when I tell him that I honestly just don't trust people at all. People are grimy. And he was like, oh, well, I think that, you know, there might be somebody out there who will change your mind. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, do you mean that in a way that you're gonna be the one to change my mind? Or are you just being a supportive friend? I was a little confused. But I get home, Lana texts me again, how'd it go? I'm like, it went good, but he wouldn't stop fucking talking about you. And she's like, ugh, that's so annoying. This is what I mean. She was like, you need to speed shit up. And I'm like, what the fuck? Girl, this is your man, not mine. The fuck? So then I say to her, dude, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I think Micah even knows that something's up because he keeps asking me if you guys are okay. And she was like, good, that's the point. He needs to feel like something is off. So off to the point where he decides to cheat on me. And I'm like, Lana, I'm sick and tired of doing this. I don't want to do this anymore. Not only are you manipulating him, but you're manipulating me. You're using me as like a little pawn in your fucking game and I don't like it. And she was like, using and manipulating you? You're the one spending time with my boyfriend behind my back. And I'm like,
oh, you finna piss me off today.
what the fuck? I'm like, there's no way. There's no fucking way, bro. Clearly there is. I'm like, Lana, you literally asked me to do this, bitch. And she's like, yeah, I did, and you agreed. So then I'm like, dude, I'm not doing this anymore. And she's like, please, just one more. If it doesn't work, then fine. She was like, I'll just break up with him, but please, just try one more night. All three of us can watch a movie at my house, blah, 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 this and that. So Micah and I go to her house to watch a movie. She has the TV set up and she has a love seat and then she has a bigger couch and then she has a small chair. She decides to sit on the small chair. She decides to put a bunch of laundry baskets on the bigger couch so that way there's only the love seat sofa for Micah and I to sit on. Yeah. So Micah and I, we sit on the love seat and the music's going on and she's just on her phone the whole fucking time. Like the whole time. not paying attention to us. And him and I are sitting there and, you know, we're talking, we're laughing about the movie, and we're keeping it a little bit quiet, you know, like we're whispering so that way we don't disturb Lana. But then he says something that was a little bit louder than I think it should have been. But I didn't think that this would affect Lana because this is what she wanted. He was like, I just can't believe I forgot how easy you are to talk to. And I'm like, yeah, same. Yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, watch a fucking movie now before this bitch comes over here and fucking murders me. So then, you know, the movie's over. She gets up, she comes and sits on like the ottoman, and she's like, you guys sounded like you were having fun. I was like, yeah, it was a funny movie. And then she looks at Micah and she's like, can you go to the kitchen and get us some water? And he's like, yeah, sure. He goes and gets some water. And this bitch snaps her neck back and looks at me. And she's like, what are you doing? You're getting way too fucking comfortable. And I'm like, what the fuck, huh? And I'm like, Lana, I don't like him. You know I don't like him. I'm uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. I've told you I'm uncomfortable multiple fucking times. Where is the disconnect? And she goes, yeah, well, from where I'm standing, it seems like you're playing your role a little bit too good. And I'm like, bitch, y'all, I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up. Like, she literally was like, this is what you wanted, a bitch. This is what you wanted, what you wanted. Y'all, I really can't. I'm like, Lana, you dragged me into this shit. I don't want to be here right now. I don't even want to be having this conversation with you. I don't want anything to do with you or Micah or this fucking bullshit. She was like, honestly, she was like, that's fine. You can leave. So I grab my shit. I leave. The next day at school, I shouldn't be surprised. Lana had already started spreading rumors. Like, there were a group of girls in my homeroom and they all started talking loud enough so that way I could hear them, and they're like, yeah, no, everybody needs to keep their man away from that slut. And I'm like, okay. So then I ask Lana if we can talk. She says, yeah, sure. She meets me at my locker. And I'm like, bro, like, why are you doing this? Like, I thought that we squashed it last night. Like, there's nothing to fucking, what is going on? And she's like, I really don't know what you're talking about. She was like, you tried to get with my boyfriend. You're a shitty person. And I'm like, you wanted Micah to cheat on you so you would feel better breaking up with him. Who is the fucking garbage piece of fucking shit human being here? You! But you're gonna blame me. And then she goes, if the shoe fits. I don't even think she used that expression right, dumb bitch. So then after school that day, Micah texts me and he's like, yo, can we talk? And I'm like, yes, please, can we fucking talk? He comes to my house and I tell him everything. I tell him about RJ. I show him the text messages of her blowing up my fucking phone while him and I were in the car, everything. And he was like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, like, she's a piece of shit. You deserve better. And then he goes, you promise those are real?
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad.
And I'm like, does everybody just think that I will go to the, like, craziest fucking lengths to be a weirdo? Anyway, so the next day at school, in the morning in the student parking lot, I park my car, and as soon as I get out, all I can hear is screaming and yelling coming from where Lana and Micah usually park. All I can hear is liar, piece of shit, cheater. So he confronted her and then she called him a cheater. She was like, no, you spent time with my best friend, blah, 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 this and that. He even tried being like, bro, you wanted me to spend time with her. She's like, no, I don't give a fuck. You shouldn't have did it. She's like, that was a test. You failed. Like, girl, yeah. So then a week later, she posted a picture of her and RJ on her story with something that says, he broke, I'm up. I don't know, some stupid shit. But yeah, that was that. And I just low-key have a feeling that karma is going to bite her in the fucking ass for the way that she treated both Micah and I. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like that video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, maybe hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know whenever I post my next video, make sure to click that bell. And if you want to know how to send in your anonymous story time, or you want to send in your anonymous story time, make sure to click the links down below in the description. But other than that, I will see you next time with a new story time.